Alright, here at No Reserve we have our 75 International pickup running. Warmed up now. You can see it's not shaking, no rough idle. Got a little exhaust leak, as mentioned before. But you can hear it sounds awesome. International motors have the best sound with Flowmaster exhaust. You can see the lights are working. It's burning clean. Also wanted to show you that the windows roll up and down nice and easy. Probably could use a little grease. Fly windows are good. They lock good too. You know, you got to have the nickel deal in there. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and hit the road with this thing. All I gotta do is grab my dealer plate. It's got a safe magnet on the back. Put it up there so we're safe for the road. Show you this goes down. It does go down and up. You know, could use a little grease. A little glass cleaner actually goes a long ways. Locks nice and tight. You know, the odometer, go ahead and get belts. It's got belts for 3, so that's kind of nice. So the odometer says 72,565, but who knows? It's a 5-digit odometer. Could be 172, and that would be my guess by the wear of the floor mat and the pedals. I definitely probably wouldn't say 72 because you would think it'd look, you know, I guess if it wasn't sitting inside all the time, it could be 72. But I definitely wouldn't say 272 because a lot of these rubbers just get hammered. And overall, the wear and tear on the truck is actually pretty minimal. It just has aging from age and being in the weather. So it could be 72. I mean, who really knows? You know, your wipers. You got low and high, full luxury. A stereo. So you can find something, sounds good. Look, the gas gauge works, and the alternator light seems to be working. These two do not seem to be working at all, and never have. Cool thing, I don't know what the International did this. I've had a lot of Scouts with this. But you got the hand throttle, kind of a crazy deal. Amazing, lighter still works. Ashtray's never been used. It's a little surface rusty, a little dirty from, you know, it's a 1975. But it's nice to see not a bunch of ashes and stuff in there. You know, again, I'll show you that works really nice. So you can plug in your iPod, get a CD player in here or something like that, plug in your cell phone. But another thing that makes me think it doesn't have a ton of miles is this here. You look at the shifter boots in really nice shape. This is in really nice shape. A lot of times this is just going to be completely silver. So I'm going to leave it up to you on what you think, if it's 72,000 or 172. But really it's kind of doesn't really matter in my opinion because the truck's condition is the truck's condition. You know, if you're working with a late model like a 2010, 2008, yeah, miles make a big difference. But on older vehicles, you buy on condition and condition only, really, in my opinion. So this thing drives great. I mean, I'm gonna take it on the highway. You know, it's a 4-speed. You don't use first gear a whole lot. It's a T19 4-speed, so it has the first gears are, you know, you could shift into first gears. You could have a non-synchro T18 and you can't shift into first gear unless you're totally stopped. So we're gonna go about the roundabout there, shift into third. I mean, it's just a great driving truck. I mean, it's just killer. You know, the brakes are nice. You know, you have a little bit of a lifter tick. And it's something I believe, you know, you could throw some Hyperlube in or just drive the thing. I think the thing needs to be exercised. It's an older motor. You know, change the oils, and I'm sure if you drive it on a regular basis, I just don't drive it. And I'm not going to, you know, restore the thing. I think it's kind of just, at best place is where it's at right now. Just drive this thing and enjoy it, and just kind of enjoy the way it looks. But even if you were just to scuff it up and reshoot it this brown, or have a cheaper paint job done, like maybe Mako, I mean, they do really cheap. This truck would be a looker. You know, you can see it doesn't pull or anything. It brakes really nice and smooth. I mean, it's just a well-sorted old truck. And that's starting off in second. Into third. And that's it. Had a little rock shoot up from the tire. You get a little bit of wind noise from the seals around the doors, but you're always going to have a little bit of wind noise in this. I've had hundreds of Scouts, I've had quite a few travel alls, quite a few international pickups, a ton of C10s, a bunch of old Ford F-250s, F-100s. When you have the aerodynamics of a brick, you're going to get wind noise. You know, they didn't send these things through a wind tunnel back in the day, so it's only going to ever be as good as it's going to get, and actually it's pretty quiet in here. But you can see I'm doing like 60. Give her a little bit of juice. I mean, it's got some power to it, you know. It's a fun truck to drive. I mean, it's just easy power steering. I mean, it's like, you know, really, when people talk about one finger driving, you can definitely do one finger driving in this thing. The e-brake works. You know, a couple old truck, you know, issues or annoyances is sometimes the speedometer. This goes sweep speedometer, and like the Chevelles and a lot of other, you know, GM vehicles have those. And sometimes it gets a little dry in there, and it'll kind of bounce a little bit at low speeds. I'm gonna turn the heater off because I'm dying in here, but you can hear the heater motors nice and quiet. You only hear it really on high, but you can see the odometer works, but you'll get that little sound. But it's the speedometer arm kind of shimmying back and forth. You can see. Get out here in traffic. No more scooting. I'll let off the throttle now. But you know, you're not going to win any races. It's got basically a Holley 2150 carb. It's a 2-barrel. I believe it's a 350 CFM. But it's just a nice truck. You know, it's fun to cruise around in. A great little project truck if you want to do little things on, but it's a driver as is. You know, it doesn't need a motor rebuild. The rear end's not howling. It doesn't have bad brakes from sitting. It doesn't have, you know, it's not rusted out floorboards and stuff. It's a truck that can be used and driven for years and years. Give it a little bit of gas there. And we're coming uphill, so you can feel that it's got good pull. The transmission, you know, the clutch feels good. It isn't grind or anything like that. So all right, this is doing a no reserve, so good luck.